Hey, what's up, everybody out there? Welcome to the Sully Squad, Monday night at 6. We got a lot to get into tonight. We got a red-hot baseball team. We got NBA Finals action, 2-2. Diego, I know me and you were going back and forth the other night with that Steph Curry performance.
Unbelievable.
Dude
Joe.
dude was unreal. Obviously the Phillies have been red hot. Yesterday was a little hiccup. What was it, 13-1? But they were due for a loss. You can't win them all in baseball. You know what I mean?
100%.
And then we also got NHL. How about the Tampa Bay Lightning? Last week the Gobbler Pat Bernard. I know he has a breakfast sandwich. What was the bet with Paul? With you?
Yeah, he said the Rangers going to win, go to the finals at breakfast. So he owes us breakfast.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pat. Well, Pat makes like John Lieb level bets. Pat's wife's going to start getting mad at him for making her cook all this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's got to watch.
My wife will cook.
Yeah. He's got to watch his trash sports takes. You know what I'm saying? It makes his wife spend a lot of time in that kitchen.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna get into it all tonight. So good evening, everybody, and we got the usual cast here. I got my man Paul on the far right.
What's going on, people?
My man Diego, Mr. As the Gobbler would say, Mr. 6 for 6. My man Diego, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing really good, man. Hey, no complaints. As a Phillies fan, you go back to a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it looked like baseball was on the verge of dying in this city. And, all of a sudden, it's amazing what a 9-game winning streak and a change of manager will do. All of a sudden, what are they, about 3.5 games out, 4 games out of the wild card?
Yeah.
The only problem is the Atlanta Braves won't stop winning. I think the Braves have 11 in a row themselves.
Yeah, but that all sorts itself out.
Right.
Well, of course, we lost yesterday, but also did the Mets won again. So.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Don't get me wrong. I'm not concede. It's too early to concede the division, but the Mets. I'm not even worried about the Mets right now. We just got to keep playing good ball, keep hitting that ball. How about Kyle Schwarber?
We're still 9 games out of first place.
Right. So I'm not even focused on that.
I'm not thinking that. Yeah, I'm not thinking Mets right now. You got to think wild card. We're 3.5 games out of the wild card. So right now that's doable. Now, if you somehow break off another 6-7 game win streak and Mets go 1-5, you get back into the race, then we'll talk Mets. But right now, let's get back into a playoff spot before we start talking about first place.
Yeah. Right now with the Mets, we're like the guy with the small pockets trying to pull a 9 or a 10. You know what I mean? That don't happen right now. You can't feed a 9 or a 10 hamburger helper in McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? It don't work.
Exactly.
Well, I got a little thing going too now. I just got a new job, and my boss is a Mets fan. So,
they need to make runs so you could stick it to his ass.
We going back and forth already a little bit already. He's cool. We fun. He's cool.
All right, we got our man, the Gobbler, Pat Bernard. What's up, homies? How you doing, Pat? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man?
Check him out on Sunday mornings at 9:00. Him, Mike Lauro, and John Lieb. We got our boy Sean Kilrain. What's up, guys? Thompson is letting the guys play. No more analytics bullshit. Scott is on fire. Totally agree. And hey, what's up, Sean? And we got our man Chris Rapizzi. What's up, dog? How you doing? He said not as bad. Not as bad. His boss is a Giants fan.
They're about the same. It depends what sport. See, it depends what sport you like more. I'm more of a football fan, so I agree with Chris more. But if you're a baseball guy, then I can see you being the Mets.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, a lot of it's like how the teams are. Because the Giants haven't been good in a long time. What's it been? 11. When was it? The Giants? Last made the playoffs in 2016, and then before that, it was 2011 when they won the Super Bowl. But they've been pretty much a non-factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they have no quarterback. They have no quarterback.
Yeah, Chris.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah, Chris, eat, sleep, die, Eagles. Yo, I feel you on that, man.
We could do an hour or so right now of just the Eagles, and I'm down for that. You know what I mean? All day,
dude. I know. I feel you. I can't wait for football season, bro. I'm like I'm like a sucker, yo. As soon as training camp starts, like I got NFL Network on, I sit there and I watch like the training camp reports and shit, yo. I'm like, I get all excited. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this motherfucker looking good. You know what I mean? Like, did you see? Speaking of the Eagles, did you see? That guy they signed. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but they signed that wide receiver. He had the third fastest running in the hurdle time.
Allen.
Allen, okay.
Yeah, the third fastest hurdle time ever.
Yeah, and then we got the Gobbler right here. He said, "What happened yesterday? Midnight struck on this bullpen." Well, that guy Nelson sucks, man. I mean, I was taking Joey to the pool, and I had it on the radio, and like it's. I'll tell you one thing: you gotta love Larry Anderson, his commentary, because like Larry Anderson's sitting there, and he's like, "Oh my," he's talking about analytics, right? And he's basically saying like, yeah, analytics can tell you where you're supposed to throw the ball. He's like, but unfortunately, they don't teach you how to throw it where you're supposed to throw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Alvarado's having a bad year too so far.
Has he had a good one?
He's somewhat decent, but his ERA now is over 8. His ERA is over 8 right now.
Right?
So I mean, yeah, he's having when he's on, he has some good games, but he's having really bad year so far.
Sean Kilrain with a nice little hammer here. He says the wife with both your bosses wear the pants in the house. Let's see here. We got Chris Rapizzi. It's hurt season, do or die. I feel you on that. Obviously. Did you see there was a picture of Hurts? He looks like he's like jacked this year. Did you see the picture?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the between last year and this year. Yeah, I saw pictures,
Yeah, I didn't see it.
And then Sean. Yeah, then Sean, that's what it is. Allen from Oregon. He hasn't played football in 6 years, but I'll tell you what though, I mean, you can't teach speed like that. That's one thing.
Right. Like, let's temper that with a grain of salt, though. I mean, you can be the fastest dude in the world. If you can't catch the damn ball,
he ain't making the team.
Don't mean shit if you can't catch the ball or get open.
I agree. He's not making the team.
Yeah. Speed don't mean shit if you can't catch the ball and get open. So, I want to see it on the field. I don't care about
he's fast, but then if you're going up against another fast corner, once he's running 0.2 of a second slower than you, he ain't running much slower than you. So they're pretty much.
They always throw the hype out on somebody every year, man.
You got to be able to get off the line.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get behind these safeties. It's running hurdles ain't running past Brian Dawkins. You know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah. Nah, that's true. Well, believe me, I'm not implying that he is going to make the team. I was just saying that, it doesn't hurt to bring the kid in for a look. I mean, I know, why not, right? I mean, if
exactly. You need preseason legs anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We go. Sean Kilrain goes, well, I'm going with the Britton Covey rookie free agent from Utah will be our returner, not Rager. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I think Jalen Rager's days on this team are numbered. If he's on this team, it's strictly because it was a first-round pick and Howie doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Exactly. They did the same shit with Nelson Aguilar, too.
I think a little bit different on Jalen Rager. Think about it. Last year, he's coming – first of all, he was drafted too high. All that pressure put him in his first year. Last year, he's trying to play number 2 wide receiver with a guy who can't throw the ball, first of all. You know what I mean? Who couldn't throw the ball last year? My bad. Who couldn't throw the ball last year? And you know what I mean? It was 2 young guys, and the receiving core wasn't the same. You had A.J. Brown to this receiving core, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. How is anyone going to put any attention into Jalen Rager? If Jalen Rager can beat one-on-one coverage, he could have a very solid year.
Yeah, well, he needs to go to the school, the opposite school of what Nelson Aguilar went to, because we've got to get him catch the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he sucks. Don't get me wrong. He definitely had a shitty end of a stick on this team right from the second he was drafted. If you're always going to be compared to Justin Jefferson, you're probably always going to look trash because Justin Jefferson got the most receiving yards in the first 2 years of a wide receiver ever.
Pretty much.
That's true. It's kind of like do you remember Entourage where Ari Gold was talking about the 2 guys? It was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and the one agent represent. You had Keanu Reeves, who became a star, and then he hammered the other agent because he's like, "Oh, you represented the other guy." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Keanu wound up making it. Nobody even knows who the other guy was. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
That's Jalen Reagor. Jalen Rager's the other guy. You know what I mean? But getting back to the Phillies here, Pat has a good question. He says, "Can the Phillies finally beat the Fish this series?" And I know, Paul, you were talking about tonight. Tonight's a really tough row to hoe.
Yeah, I mean, I think they win the series, but tonight I don't think it looks that good, man. You got going up against Alcantara. He has a 1 ERA. He was only 4 home runs in 81 innings pitched. So I think it's going to be tough tonight. But I think we win the series. But I think tonight it's going to be tough for us to win the series.
Noah's been pitching some pretty good baseball too, though.
Yes.
Right.
So I mean, if it turns into a pitching duel, get 1 or 2 runs, get this W.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm saying it's a tall task. That's all.
Alcantara's a beast, though.
Yeah.
He is.
Well, the other thing is too. It is a really important game because I think we were what are we exactly at 500, right? Because we were one over 500 on Saturday.
Yeah.
So once we got over 500, we don't want to go backwards. You know what I mean?
No. Last year's World Series champions didn't get to 500 until they were 53 and 53. The Atlanta Braves, they got to 500 at 53 and 53. The 2019 World Series champions, the Washington Nationals, didn't get to 500 till 40 and 40. Where they're much quicker than them teams, So
here's an interesting comment from Joey Wood. You could catch him. He does a couple wrestling shows. I know he does a fight show with Paul Spencer on the Out of Box Network. I believe it's Tuesday nights. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joey. And then also he does a show on Saturday, which is really cool. He has his little boy on the show, so it's really a cool show. So check that out on the Out of Box Network, 8 o'clock on Saturdays. But he's got an interesting comment here. He says, "Do you like the Phillies giving Nick Castellanos off after those wild comments about not being comfortable?" Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's been struggling this year. Like, he's not batting like he usually does, what he did last year. So, I mean, maybe he needs a breather. I mean, when was the last time he had a day off? Maybe he needs a breather to try to correct things. I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah. The other thing is too. I mean, obviously, I haven't looked at the numbers, but maybe he may not hit this pitcher well. So maybe it's something where he struggles against this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, Diego? Anything to that, or you think it's just a day off?
Maybe it got something to do with that house he bought, Ben Simmons' house. That uncomfortable shit contagious or something like that.
Maybe
you go buy Ben Simmons' house, now you want to act like Ben Simmons? Oh, I'm uncomfortable, bitch. You got paid man money. Hit the baseball.
Yo, find a way to get your bitch ass comfortable because all I know is I see a lot of T-shirts being sold down there that says I don't have a college degree, I hit baseballs. Well, motherfucker, you ain't hitting shit right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm uncomfortable. Wow, I'm so uncomfortable. I make so much money in my fucking nice ass house, 4.2 million. Get out of here with that. Hit the baseball. Them unnecessary ass comments.
I'll tell you what, if he would hit baseballs like Ben Simmons hit bricks the shit out of rims, dude, he'd be hitting like 500.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He came in here with all that attitude. You know what I mean? Nick Castellanos and them interviews coming in, all that attitude, talking, we're going to beat everyone, blah, 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 Mets stink, and then here you are laying an egg.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, I still think he breaks out of it. You know what's hurting him, though? The fact he's got to play the field. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, but I think he thought he was going to be a DH, and now all of a sudden he's playing the field. You know what I mean?
Oh. I mean, he's looking – all right, he came here because Bryce Harper. He's looking out for Bryce Harper. Do a good job till you have to. You're getting paid for it.
Yeah. Papernor, Nola struggles against the Marlins. Well, you know what? I mean, the Nola of this year so far has been like the Nola of, I want to say like what, 2018, 2019? You know what I mean? Like,
it looks good. So a little bit of baseball I watched him play looks good.
Yeah, so let's think, and then Joey Wood with a good comment here. He goes, right, think of how this team will be looking if Castellanos produces. Totally agree.
What do you guys think about Ranger Suarez, though? He seems to really be hurting right now.
He's struggling.
He don't look like a starter. It might be. I'm not giving up on him yet. I'm not giving up on him yet. But don't you think our bullpen could use another arm with a strong? Maybe that's him. He was a bullpen guy. He becomes a starter, and now he don't look like he's really a starter. So did he just have a little bit of luck last year to go on? These teams didn't have a lot of like video, I guess, to watch. You know what I mean? A lot of analytics to go behind him because baseball has to do with numbers. So the more pitches you throw, the more numbers are going to spit out to the coaches on the other end. So is it a little bit of that? Maybe can we somehow find another starting arm and get him back to the bullpen?
You know what? I think
the game before he pitched great. Yesterday, a couple of those runs weren't his fault. They were unearned runs.
He walked a lot yesterday.
He only gave like 2 runs, but he threw a lot of pitches. But he wasn't getting a lot of strike calls either. The strike zone yesterday was a little small. So
I would consider moving him to the bench, not to the bench, to the bullpen, if we have another arm to start. I mean, I don't know if we have another arm to start, so that might be a spot for the whole year.
Well, here's Pat Bernard says he's bullpen material, nothing more, nothing less. I kind of disagree.
We don't have another starter though. Who do we have to bring up to start? Nobody.
I disagree with that right now.
Andrew Painter looks good, but he's too early.
Yeah, he's not ready yet. He ain't coming up.
No.
Mike Lauro, you could check him out on the Gobbler Show at 9 a.m. on Sundays, and also you could check out on the Out of Box Network on Thursday nights at 8. The Locker Room with Mike. It's a great show. He says move Ranger to the pen and bring up the young kid from Reading. Yeah, but I don't. Who's the young kid from Reading? Because Painter, I think, is in High A.
Yeah. Painter's in Lakewood.
Yeah, and then Chris Rapizzi's asking a question: who wins tonight, or Boston or Golden State? Chris, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that a little bit later. We're going to close the show out with that because that's. I really want to get into some NBA Finals.
That's the main topic, Chris.
And then we got Joey Woody said someone had Ranger in the top 10 of pitchers before the season started. I have no idea who that was.
Yeah, I had Familia in All-Star before the season started.
Yeah,
remember our All-Star bullpen arm.
Yeah, I know. You know what's funny? You were pulling a John Lee because John Lee brings up a guy like who was. Like he doesn't think anybody ages. Like he would be like, oh, why don't they sign like Harold Carmichael? You know what I'm saying?
Remember fantasy last year? Fantasy last year? His like first or second pick, he was like, looking at his book that was 2 years old. In fantasy goes, I'll take Cam Akers. Cam Akers has a torn ACL. He didn't play to the playoffs.
Yeah. I got a funny. I got to call myself out though. I got a funny story for you guys, right? So about 3 years ago, I don't know anything about horse racing, right? So I wanted to go bet the Kentucky Derby, and I had no idea what I was doing. So here I went on the internet and I was like, all right, well, let me see what one of these analysts say to do, right? Because I don't even understand. I don't even understand like superfectas, trifectas, all this shit, right?
Right.
So I looked up the numbers and I went to the John and I put the money on it. Here the shit was from like 2 years before. So you know what's funny? So the horse I had was like 500 to 1 or something. I was like, oh, you win this one, you know?
Yeah, you got no chance.
Yeah. Sean Kilrain's got something here. I saw this. He says Chad Ochocinco's signing some autographs for Phillies fans. He told me he loves Philly. I'm moving here. He's here for a few months training with Philly fighter Jaron Ennis. He tweeted at Bryce Harper for Phillies tickets. Phil's got it done. Cool.
Tell you what, Jaron Ennis is a beast. He's one of the best 140s in the world. Let everyone know. If anyone watches boxing, Jaron Ennis from Philly is a beast.
Here's my boy, but I don't know if I could say let's go Braves though, Paul. But you could check out Paul Spitzer. He's the Out of Box Network. He does the 215 Boys. He does the Fight Club. Just check out all the shows in the Out of Box Network. But he's saying, "What's up, Sully Squad?" Sorry, bro. I can't say let's go Braves. I got to root for an L for y'all tonight. Sorry, bro.
Who
I like. You're my boy, but the Braves, nah, I can't get down. We need y'all to take an L.
Else.
But so, all right, so I want to get into the NHL Finals talk or whatever, but so real quick, let's just go ahead and look at this week for the Phillies. So we got what is it? Three with the Marlins, correct?
Yes, then 3 with the Nationals.
All right, so 3 with the New Orleans, 3 with the Nationals. What kind of when we come back to speak next Monday, where are we at? Do we make any more?
Is that every game from here to next Monday?
I believe so. Yeah.
Then 4. I feel you got to go 4-2 by the time we talk next time.
Okay, Paul, what do you think?
I'm hoping 5-1 at this point, but I'll sell for 4-2. But you got to come out with a winning number.
Yeah, I agree. After going on that nice little streak, the last thing we want to do is start playing 500 ball against mediocre teams. That's
right.
Then we're right back to what we were. You know what I mean?
That's how you get buried. That's how you get buried in the standings.
Exactly. You gotta start making up ground.
If you can split games against the tougher teams and then beat the teams you're supposed to, you're probably in pretty good shape. But you can't lose to the teams you're supposed to beat. Definitely.
This must be Paul talking about my horse betting. That's like me last week betting NASCAR. No clue. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. And apparently the Phillies made a move. As Sean Kilrain says, the Phillies made a change in their bullpen before Monday night. Michael Kelly was added from AAA, where James Norwood was designated for assignment. Well, James Norwood blew. So see ya. Have fun in Lehigh, dog. Check out.
He's probably trash too.
Yeah, check out Dorney Park while you're up there. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, all right. So that's some good. Obviously that's the Phillies, and we got a long way to go there. And,
Where you got them? Where you got them, Joe? 4-2.
I say 4-2. Yeah, I say 4-2 because a lot of times when you go on like a 9-game winning streak like that. It's kind of what would you say? Kind of things kind of level out. You know what I mean? Right. You go on that streak, and then you kind of go back to the pack a little bit.
Right. Yep.
But anyway, so obviously the main topic I really want to get to is the NBA Finals. But real quick though, because last week we had a breakfast bet on this show. I know the Gobbler was touting the Rangers, saying the Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup. He has a breakfast bet with Paul up here, and well, thank God, as Flyers fans, the Rangers took that L. So we got basically Colorado swept Edmonton, and we got Tampa lost the first 2, wins the next 4 against the Rangers. So let's get into a little NHL Finals preview. What's your guys' feelings on this series? Because the series starts Wednesday night, I believe, in Colorado. Correct? I think Colorado has home ice.
Yeah, Colorado definitely. Yeah.
All right, so what's your guys' thought? Well, let's see here. We got Mike Lauro says Avs all the way to the cup 4-2.
I agree, but it's two very, very good teams. I can see us going 7 games, but man, if Tampa Bay wins, man, that's definitely going to that's a dynasty right there. I mean, 3 years in a row.
It's a tough series because the West Coast plays a really fast-paced hockey, up and down, up and down, up and down. It just seems like every time they got to come up against these Eastern Conference teams that really can put a body on them, and Tampa Bay ain't slow either. They got some guys who can skate. You know what I mean? They kind of gave the Western Conference team some problems. I feel like Tampa Bay might be a little too physical for the Avs.
Okay, so
Andre
the most important position in hockey is the goaltender.
Yeah, Andre Vasilevsky.
And I'm taking Vasilevsky over any other goalie in the league.
Yeah. Mike Laurie says Pat's the new Lieb, and Pat says Tampa in 6. So that doesn't go well for Tampa Bay. But I kind of agree with you guys. I mean, I think that the well, a lot of people, I know Mike's saying the Avs all the way to the cup, and the Avs may be, I want to say maybe a little bit better of a team, maybe, or maybe it's their time. Like a lot of people could say it's their time, but I'll tell you, man, that goalie from Tampa Bay, dude, like you said, he's the X factor. I mean, that dude definitely stands on his head, Yeah,
and they got a real Hedman. Hedman's such a good he just leads that team. So nice up there. Everyone's just really good. Everyone's great in that team. What's his name? Kucherov?
Yeah.
Kucherov, yeah.
Does whatever he wants.
Kucherov, Stamkos. It's a really good team.
Stamkos.
Yeah.
Like they won the other day because
Stamkos 2 goals, yeah.
He slap shot at the puck like 200 miles an hour into Igor's glove, but it was such a fast shot. He couldn't close his hand fast enough that it came back out and hit off his leg.
Yeah.
So it was like they just have so much high-powered talent and like stardom that I think it might be a little too much for the 3 stars that the Avs have.
Well, it's definitely a series worth watching, though. I'm definitely watching that.
I agree. Great series. I feel like Tampa Bay finished it off. They got that championship pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Laura goes, Avs have too much offense. Pat goes, John Cooper is the 3rd best coach in the last 20 years out of the 4for4 Sports. Bill Belichick, Greg Popovich, and Cooper.
I'm sorry, Pat. I would never, ever put a hockey coach in any conversation of any real coaching.
Yeah, I can't. I was going to say no. And don't take this the wrong way because I love hockey. I
didn't mean it's not a hard sport to coach.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But there's only 40 coaches. There's a pool of 40 coaches that they just continue to rotate team to team, and everyone gets a shot at the same coach. That's how I feel like hockey is.
Well, look at the Flyers. I mean, a lot of people are saying the Flyers are down to between Tortorella and Barry Trotz. It's like I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to get Trotz. I'm not really enthused by Tortorella, but like, isn't there some young dude out there you could go get? Like, you're telling me there's not some assistant or some shit?
I'm not interested in Trotz. Like, let's be real. This Flyers team isn't the you're talking about the Washington Capitals coach, right?
Yeah.
Well, this Flyers team ain't that Washington Capitals team.
Well, no. Trotz came from the Islanders.
We need a coach that can come and develop these young guys, and he couldn't develop the young guys in the Islanders. So why are we going to bring him here?
No, I agree. I'd rather go another direction. You know,
like bring something fresh in.
Honestly,
everyone
we all see how they when they try to get Hackstall in here.
That's I mean, everyone thought the Eagles, and then
poison. You know what I mean?
Nick Sirianni comes in with a little bit of young, fresh attitude. We go to the playoffs first year. We had a quarterback.
Hey, all right. So let's quickly go over our preview. Okay. So Paul, who do you have again?
It's a very tough series, man. I think the Avs pull this out 7 games.
Okay, Diego, what do you think?
The Avs got home field advantage.
Yeah.
Home ice.
I'm going Tampa in 6.
Okay, I like Tampa in 6, and that actually gets me to my point because before we move on to the basketball, I have a question here. If Tampa does win, where do you rank? This would be Tampa's 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup, and actually the first time since the New York Islanders from 80 through 83. So if Tampa wins this cup, where does Tampa rank as far as some of the all-time NHL dynasties? Like where would you rank them?
Well, to me, I mean, I wasn't even thought of in 83 to 86. So this is by far the best dynasty I
ever seen. That's true. I was gonna say for me, the best hockey team, the best era of hockey that I ever saw was those Edmonton Oilers teams when the Flyers because the first year I watched hockey was 1987, and that actually made me fall in love with hockey because that Flyers team took the great Oilers team to 7 games. Like Ron Hextall had one of the greatest playoff runs in the history of the NHL. In fact, he won the Conn Smythe in a losing effort.
Did he? So he was a rookie, right? He was a rookie. He was a rookie, right?
Yeah, he was a rookie. Yeah, that was the best he ever played. Yeah,
it was his best year, rookie year. Thanks for blowing your load, dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's still.
We should have traded him when his value was high.
Yeah. Honestly, I read something, and before the season ended, when the season ended, I said Carter Hart is untouchable. Then you look at this Flyers team, and they're so handicapped all over the place. He might be the only guy you can move to get some kind of prospects in here or something.
Well, what about Provorov? I'd probably get something for him, though.
They're not. They signed him to a good amount of money.
Yeah,
and
no,
after that,
I read something. I'm not getting the Flyers right now, but I read something that they need to trade either Konechny or Provorov.
I feel like hockey teams are a little bit stingy with their money. Like, you got to produce to get paid. They don't just pay anybody. Yeah. So Provorov got paid, produced. He didn't produce. I don't see anyone taking on that contract until he proves he can play again.
Well, I know St. Louis wanted him at the trade deadline, but the Flyers didn't make the trade.
They should have, because if he plays anything like he did last year, he's not a number one.
Nah, no, he's not a number one, and he played like a number two all year.
He played like a number, exactly. He played like someone who needed a number one next to him.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with him, because it's hard for me to say you're a number one defenseman when you can't be successful unless you have like a Niskanen next to you or something. You know
right?
What I mean?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Now, you know that dude Macker from the Avs.
Yeah.
Now that's a star. That's a star defenseman. Shows up every single night. He showed up for the last 3 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast. Provorov, I would say he had a good year 2 years ago. Not that great of a year the year before that, and not that great of a year this year.
Yeah. So Pat ranks his Oilers, Islanders, Penguins, and then Tampa. I guess if Tampa wins 3 in a row, I guess you got to put him there. To me, I feel like the Chicago Blackhawks teams of the early 2010s. I think, I don't know. I think they were a little better, but maybe that's
the best team I ever seen. Me personally in hockey, I think it was them Chicago Blackhawks teams. Patrick Kane, Taves, Crawford was the goalie, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Duncan Keith, Bufflin wasn't Bufflin on them teams?
Bufflin was, he was on the first. I think he was on the first 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that team was solid. The whole entire team.
But I'll tell you what, though, the one thing about, like you said about the salary cap for hockey, though, as far as it's so hard to keep dynasties together because they have a hard cap. You know what I'm saying? So like for instance, in basketball, like you look at this, and we're going to get into this next. You look at a team like the Golden State Warriors. Now the Golden State Warriors, this is what their fifth or sixth wait. How many? Let's see. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, this is their 6th finals appearance since 2015. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the reason is because they've kept Steph, Clay, Draymond. They've been able to keep these guys together, where in hockey you can't always do that. So that makes what Tampa Bay has done has been is really remarkable when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. So all right. So Diego, you were kind of too young. You say the Chicago Blackhawks. Paul, who did you say was? What would you?
Well, they weren't a dynasty though, right?
Who wasn't?
The Blackhawks.
No, they won like 3. They won the cup in 2010, 2013, and 2015. And
they didn't win it 3 times consecutively like the Lightning are about to do.
No, not in a row. But I mean, if you go back to like the 2010s, I mean, it was basically the Blackhawks and the Kings were like rotating Stanley Cups.
The Kings you know what I mean? Like a really nice team too. Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, Mike Quick. They were a good team.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? The Flyers haven't won a cup in 45 years, but the cup has been in Sea Isle City, though.
Yeah, it's over. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so can we claim that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Austin Hamill, you could check him out on the Union Show tomorrow night, him and Gus at 9:00. Retention of firepower is key in these leagues nowadays. Totally agree with that one. And when the NHL moved to skill, the Legion of Doom was our best chance. Yeah, well, the problem is we never had the goalie. Yeah. Flyers never had the goalie then,
Yeah.
But anyway, well, hey, look. NHL Finals is going to be really exciting, but, let's keep it real. That doesn't start till Wednesday. We got a major game tonight. We got a Game 5. Series is 2-2. I'll tell you, Diego, the other night or before Game 4, we were talking at work and I was saying like, man, I'll tell you, man, like Boston really looks like too athletic for Golden State. They're dominating the boards. And then Steph Curry came out and he pulled a Steph Curry, dude. what's your guys'
He was on
thoughts?
fire. He was on fire.
Tonight's game, I mean, probably decides the series because if you look at all-time any NBA Finals series, I believe 80 to 82% of the time, the team that wins Game 5 when it's tied at 2 wins the series. So let's get into this game tonight. Paul, what's your thoughts on tonight's game? Tonight in Golden State, what do you think happens?
I think Golden State takes this and then wins it next game. I mean, I think they take over from here now. I think they take over.
Really?
I think they take over. Seth's playing great, and now they're back in Golden State. I think they win tonight and push it to the brink, and then they win it. I think so. My thoughts. Yeah.
Diego, what you feeling, bro?
Boston's better. Boston's the better team. But it's like betting against Steph Curry is like betting against Tom Brady or betting against Patrick Mahomes or betting against Jordan, or betting against LeBron when he's making them finals runs where he's having 40 points, 17 rebounds, 14 assists. How do you bet against him?
I can't.
Yeah.
Because in reality, Boston is the much better team. It's not even like the teams are that close. I think Boston's a much better team. But Steph Curry is the much better player.
Bro, I totally agree with you. And it's funny because not to pat myself on the back because I never do, but it was ironic because I texted you the other night and I said, I'm like, dude, this Curry performance reminds me of like LeBron when he was playing against the Warriors with
Van Gundy.
And Van Gundy goes the same way.
Yeah, like 5 minutes later too.
I know. I was like, yo, y'all got to listen to the Sully Squad, man. No, I'm just playing, but
really.
It was funny, right? Because and then the other thing is, I'm an old head, obviously. Like, I loved watching Magic Johnson. I loved watching Jordan. I loved watching all those dudes in like the 80s and 90s. Like that was like my era. But saying that, I will keep it real, man. I think, and I love watching shooting. I feel like Steph Curry's like the most exciting player I've ever watched in my life. Like as far as pure excitement, because he's always moving. He can shoot from anywhere. Like I love his style of basketball.
You know how dominant Shaq was when Shaq was in his prime with them Lakers? When he wanted to just dominate a game and impose his will in the paint, he would. Steph Curry does the same exact thing from 40 feet away from the basket. That's what kind of dominance he imposes on a game. But without any power, strength, or any of that. Simply just, if you give me 1 inch of space, I make you pay for it no matter where it's at.
I know, man. I saw him make a shot the other day. He just threw it up and went in. Like it was like a heave kind of.
Right. Like if you didn't come and double Shaq, or if you put a guy who was trying to put someone if you tried to cheat on Shaq, like tried to put someone that's like 6'9" on him, 6'10", he abused that every time. And I feel like Steph Curry does that, but just in a complete opposite way. He does it from so far from the basket. That's what makes it even more impressive to me, how a player can take over a game like that.
Yeah, well, Steph Curry is basically like Iverson, except he's a better shooter. Like Iverson was like an unbelievable scorer. I mean, I'm not saying they're the same type of player because Iverson was more of a scorer. But like Steph Curry, like you said, Steph Curry can create so much space. And then the other thing is too, like you said too, like Shaq was like unstoppable, but Shaq wasn't really, I mean, in my opinion, Shaq wasn't that exciting because basically he just knocked you over and dunked on your ass.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Back then I feel like that was the NBA though. So like when Shaq would be just like bang, you'd be like, damn dude, he can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Like even though it was easy basket, I mean, just the way of when you watch him play, he just made it look so easy by just moving a dude with his body and just get it. You know, it was too easy. That's how easy Steph makes it look from the 3-point line.
Yeah, back in the late 90s, that Burger King used to have the Shaq attack. That shit was good. No, they did back in the 90s. But we got
I was texting my whole phone book pretty much last game. Watching the game, was going, this is ridiculous. Every shot, like you see that. It's nuts.
I know
and the thing is, I appreciate it a lot more now because when he was doing it at the beginning of his career, the NBA was different. He was like the only one doing it. So I felt like they were cheating kind of. Even though they weren't, I'd be like, this is like fucking cheating. Like no one's going to beat this team. It's not even worth watching the game.
Right.
But now that everyone in the NBA can shoot, you go, wow. Like it's even, you really appreciate it now because you're like, you see how hard it is for everyone else to do it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Everyone in the NBA can shoot except back-to-back years. The Sixers took Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, two guards that can't shoot.
I know. Right? Shooting league. Let's get some passers. Another thing about Steph Curry. Steph Curry came into this league a shooter. Steph Curry is now a complete player. He plays defense. He gets to the basket. He draws fouls. He passes the ball. He had 10 rebounds the other day.
Yeah.
Dude, he's unbelievable. So Paul Spencer from the Out of Box Network, he goes, Warriors tonight. Can anyone stop babyface Curry? I'd love to see it go 7 as a fan. Totally agree with you there. I think it is going 7, honestly. And that's Paul Spencer. That's barbecue chicken in the paint, as Shaq used to say. I agree with that. So okay, so
all I keep hearing about this Robert Williams dude, and I just keep going. I'm so pissed that the Sixers didn't get to play that dude because Embiid would have made him look like an amateur, like Pee Wee League. Every time you hit that dude's just jumping out the gym every play. Imagine Embiid hits him with that pump fake where Robert Williams is going. He's going to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like I actually like I like Golden State tonight, but I think it's going 7. I like Golden State tonight. Diego, who did you say you like tonight? I'm sorry. Did you say or
Boston.
you didn't say?
He said Boston.
It's like I don't even really know because all right, game 1 I like Golden State, they lost. Game 2 I like Golden State, they won. Game 3 I like Golden State, they lost. And then right after game 3 I'm like, all right, Boston's going up 3-1, and Steph Curry does that. So I feel like you have to go with the home crowd. You got to think that the Golden State Warriors take back home court. But I do agree. It's a 7-game series. They ain't going to Boston and winning game 6.
I don't think so. I mean, honestly, what I see happening is if Golden State doesn't win tonight, I think Boston beats them in 6.
I agree.
And Pat Bernard says Pat has Boston winning tonight. So if that's the case, I think Boston's the champ. Mike Lauro also has Celtics tonight. See, I think these guys are, like I said, Diego, like I'm flip-flopping like crazy because, like, you know, I was saying that after game 3 or before game 3, I was saying, well, you know what, if Boston wins tonight, I love Golden State for game 4. But then when you watch the game, like Boston was so much more athletic. Like they dominated them on the boards. They were blocking shots. I mean, so I said, I think Boston's going to win game 4. And then honestly, I don't think anybody really knows, dude. I feel like this.
Does Wiggins show up tonight?
What's that?
Does Wiggins show up tonight?
I'll tell you what. Wiggins was big in game 4, bro.
I feel like he's the most important player for them because he takes all the pressure off them to not have to worry about the best player on the court. Like a lot of other teams might have to double Tatum. Andrew Wiggins just D's Tatum up one-on-one. Don't get me wrong, Tatum gets his, but Wiggins makes it hard on him.
Yeah.
So that I feel like that's a big key for them. If Wiggins is at the top of his game tonight, he's scoring and making Tatum's life hard. It could be similar to the other night. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry just taking over shooting and Wiggins making some dunks. Draymond hasn't really done much.
He got benched in the 4th, didn't he?
Yeah, he got benched. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes Steve Kerr great. Steve Kerr, a guy who's contributed to 3 championships, benches him in the biggest game of the series in the finals.
I'll tell you what, though. Now, Draymond did get benched, but if you remember, there was a pretty big play. Draymond made a couple winning plays at the end of that game, though. Remember, he got a nice rebound. He drove the lane a little bit, and he threw a lob to somebody. I forget who it was. But
yeah, I remember.
I remember being like, you know what? That's the kind of, the one thing about Draymond is, and you got to love it about Draymond, is Draymond could look like crap all game, but he'll take a charge with like 20 seconds left, or he'll steal a ball or dive on the floor. I mean, he does the things that you need to win.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
I wonder if what's that rookie that Golden State has? That no, maybe Kuminga. I'll tell you what. I would consider. I know it's. You don't think so?
No, because all right, they got rebounded in game 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
After getting rebounded for 3 straight games, you don't go to possibly your most athletic player. You continue to play Otto Porter. That tells me Steve Kerr don't feel like he's ready to play.
Well, Golden State actually out-rebounded Boston 55-42, yeah.
Last game they did, yeah, but the first 3 they did it, and he still didn't go to Kuminga in game 4. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like he's not going to go to him game 5 because if he wanted that rebounding, he would have went to it in game 4.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, I think one of the key things tonight, though. Do you guys think that Tatum steps up tonight? Because Tatum shot the ball kind of bad. Like he was really off the last game.
Well, he had 23 points going into the fourth quarter. He looked good. He had 0 points in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's what I meant. When you were the top guy,
8 for 23. He shot 8 for 23.
Pat here. Boston wins.
Don't you feel like Jason Tatum kind of disappears?
At times, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's a beast, but at times I feel like he disappears. Like he just sits in the corner and like just disappears out of the play. Jaylen Brown got the ball, Marcus Smart got the ball, and as a basketball fan, I'm going, why does Tatum not have the ball right now?
Right.
Yeah, he shot 50 from 3, but overall 8 for 23. It's not really good.
And I'll tell you what, Jason Tatum got to get on Kobe Bryant's dick. Oh, I got your back tonight. Dude, what you know Kobe Bryant for 3 days?
I know.
Get out of here with that.
We got here, Pat Bernard goes, Boston wins the series. Sully Squad buying Gobbler Inc. Breakfast Sambos. If Golden State wins, Gobbler Inc. will hook up another pasta dinner. All right.
Keep making your wife cook, Pat.
If that's the case, then I think Golden State's definitely going to win. Pat's leaving it, you know?
Yeah. He already lost the Rangers, so now he's going to lose this one too.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's I'll tell you what, it's definitely a toss up, you know. I have no idea how this is going to go, honestly. I mean, it could go either way.
Boston wins, Boston in 6. Golden State wins, Golden State in 7. That's what I got.
I got Golden State 4-2.
I don't see it any other way. It's tough to go to. I mean, I know they won 1 in Boston, but that place is hostile.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
I think they win tonight and deflate Boston, and then they go back with Boston against the wall, and then not come out.
Hey, I'm all for it. I hate Boston.
Yeah.
Well, here's an interesting question. So if Golden State wins, like where that would be what 4 titles in 6 years? Where do they rank in like the all-time great teams?
Top 2.
Yeah.
You think so? 4
96 Bulls and the Golden State Warriors. But with Kate, like it's tough to say because they'll win their 4 championship. What team we talking about? We talking about them with KD? Are we talking about their all-time squad?
No, I'm talking about basically if they win the championship, if they win 4 in 6 years, like
they're the second best team ever, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think they're the second best team ever.
See, I feel like they're kind of San Antonio level. I feel like they're equivalent to like the Spurs.
I think they're better than the Spurs.
No, but I'm talking about in total titles. Like as far as like Mike Lauro says top 2, so he's kind of in agreement with you.
Michael Jordan's Bulls, Steph Curry's Warriors. To me, that would be the best matchup in the final.
Okay, see, I think you got to go 80s Lakers up there. I mean, you look, the 80s Lakers won what 5 in a 9-year span. I mean, the late 80s Lakers, they won in 80, they won in 82. They made it in 83, made it in 84, won it in 85, won it in 87, 88, made it in 89. So, I mean, you know, you got to think of the Lakers too, you know. And then, of course, I mean, the obviously the greatest winner of all time is the Celtics with Bill Russell. But, I mean, dude, none of us remember that. I mean, that was in the 60s. You know?
Yeah, well, they won like 14 championships.
Yeah, well, actually, if the Celtics and the Lakers are each tied with 17, so if the Celtics win, they take over the top spot with 18.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's the second best. Them in their prime, Golden State in their prime, with like Iguodala, Sean Livingston, they made a new. That basketball was never seen before. Get what I'm saying?
That's true. I mean, they've kind of. I mean, you could argue that they've been. You know what? You actually could argue they've been the most impactful team in the history of the NBA because they changed the whole style of the league. So actually,
the whole game.
Actually, if you really think about it, if you go strictly from impact with analytics and 3-point shooting, they could be they could be number one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the best team, but just the whole future of the league has changed. I mean, look at every single team now goes small ball. They go small ball fives. Every guy on the floor's got to be able to hit a jump shot. I mean, you never saw that.
It's either you score at this NBA is you either score at the basket or you score at the 3-point line. Nothing in between.
Yeah, the mid-range game has almost disappeared. And I'll tell you what, though, and I mean, I still think I still think there's a place for the mid-range game. You know, when you need a big bucket, you could say analytics and all this bullshit all game long, but when you're in that fourth quarter and you're tied like I was going to say 90-90, but this ain't the 90s no more. So we say it's like 115, and you need a bucket. Sometimes you got to be able to hit that little mid-range J.
Yeah, but that's what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get to the basket right there and draw a foul. It's a higher percentage shot.
Yeah, but a lot of times late in games you don't get that foul call, especially when you're on the road.
Who's the best mid-range player in the NBA?
I think DeMar DeRozan's up there.
Yeah,
he's the best mid-range player in the NBA. He ain't ever won shit.
Yeah, but in all fairness, though, I mean,
Kawhi Leonard, he leaves Toronto. Kawhi Leonard replaces him and wins the championship.
Yeah, but let's keep it 100.
Mid-range is not as important because it's a high percentage. Like it's not much reward when you knock down a 20-foot jump shot. It's not much reward when you could have stepped back 3 feet and knocked down a 23-foot jump shot and got a whole nother point for it.
I mean, that's true. You're right. But the one thing about DeRozan, though, it's a little unfair because, I mean, Kawhi's better than, I mean, DeRozan's a hell of a player, but Kawhi's a better player than DeRozan.
That's true. I just mean like you got the 3-point shooting got better for Toronto after DeRozan left. All the attention went to Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? Like no one's going to concentrate on DeRozan's 2-pointers. We'll man you up on 2-pointers. We're not doubling someone who's hitting a mid-range jump shot. Unless you're Joel Embiid.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
you try to double Steph Curry. You know what I mean? You try to double at the perimeter, but that's hard to do. You know what I mean? Just like it is, it's hard. It's pointless to double in the mid-range because everyone's playing so tight right there. You're going to contest a mid-range shot every time.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an interesting question because, like I said, 4 and 6 years. And you know what? It just goes to show you what a difference is between winning and losing. Because if Golden State loses, then their finals record's 3-3, which is still impressive. But there's a big difference between 3 and 4. So this is a really important one for legacy.
I only put them in then top 2 if they win this series.
Right,
if they don't win this series, honestly, I'm probably putting the Miami Heat LeBron over them. I'd take them over them probably.
Okay.
I would take that Lakers team, probably Larry Bird's Boston team, Kobe and Shaq's 2000 team. They got to win this series. I feel like to get to that spot. If they do, I would put them too.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I say that they're and I say because of the rules changes that they're most influential because they changed in fact no team has changed the league or nothing has changed the rules of the league more than the Golden State Warriors since Will Chamberlain. I mean,
right.
Will was an individual player, but the Golden State Warriors changed the way everybody looked at the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the Phoenix Suns tried it, with like Steve Nash and like the 7. I think they had like the like the 7 seconds of hell offense or something like that.
Yeah,
like
wasn't it like Steve Nash, Sean Marion, all them players?
Right, but they just weren't as good as the Sun. I mean, they weren't as good as
they weren't good enough at shooting.
Warriors. You know.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting, and so man, let's we got at least we got some good sports to watch because I mean, hey, let's keep it real. After these next couple weeks, I mean, it's basically just going to be baseball, free agency, rumors, Yeah,
not much.
There was a trade made today, though.
Oh yeah. What was it? Jermichael Finley, right?
Jermichael Green, the 2027 first rounder for the 30th pick this year.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean,
to me, I don't get that deal. The Nuggets are trying to win
first round picks.
Nah. What do you mean? Oklahoma City took on Jermichael Green.
They didn't get a one return.
Pick. They gave up their 30th pick.
Yeah.
So but to me, what's the 30th pick do for Denver when Denver's in win now mode? And what are you going to get at 30?
I don't know, but you know what though? What was it? Didn't we read somewhere the Sixers are possibly looking at trading Danny Green in the 23rd?
I sent you a screenshot today that's trying to get the 23rd pick and Danny Green for something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that could be. I mean, I gotta think it's for some sort of a role player. I mean, probably a guy that has a couple, like Diego, like I was saying, like. That could be a guy that has a couple years left on his contract where a team wants Danny Green's, expiring contract, because Danny Green has no value other than his money. I mean, you might as well not even say Danny Green. You might as well just say we're trading you $10 million.
Right.
I mean? He has no value because he's not even going to play until God knows when,
Right.
If I'm Danny Green, I just retire.
He's got 10 million reasons to play, bro. I don't know. You'd have to burn the suit off of me.
He doesn't have 10 million reasons to play because in reality, we could just cut him.
Yeah, but he does though, because if he doesn't retire, all right, think about it. If he accepts a trade somewhere, yeah, he's got a rehab, but dude, he could get paid $10 million to rehab and maybe play like 15 games next year and make 10 mil. Sign me up, bro.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying okay, Sixers can't find a suitor, right?
Yeah.
They cut you and no one picks you up. Your salary's $0 for next year.
Right, but that's all the more reason to play. So if I'm Danny Green, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm coming back. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you?
Problem is, who's going to take him on the injury like that?
There's not a reason. Look at the Sixers just part ways with Danny Green. No one's going to pick him up and sign him, so he's back to making $0.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I hear you, but no, I'm going on the premise that they move his contract. That maybe they find they move 23rd.
Yeah, I'm not retiring either for $10 million. I'm saying if it comes, no team takes him. Sixers cut him. No one's going to give you a contract. Danny Green might as well just retire. You're making $0 anyway, and you're rehabbing an ACL at 38.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I still think he comes back though. He doesn't look like the kind of guy to me that wants to go out on a note like that. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, he runs like a 40-year-old. He runs like it's time to go out on that note.
Hey Diego, that's not offensive to me and Joe, by the way, but
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. It's so funny. I know. I remember being in my 20s and 30s, and I was like, he's running like a 40-year-old. Now I'm going to be like 44 next month. It's funny. I don't think I run like a. I don't feel like I run like a 40-year-old though. What the hell?
You run every morning now.
Yeah, Diego's age shaming us, Paul.
I want to see Joe, and Pat do a race and see who wins, like a 30-yard sprint, whatever.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't.
I'm calling 3 toured hammies.
Nah, not me, man. I could sprint.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it was funny because my friend and boss Tony. I remember when he still works out, but he was like real into working out like 6, 7 years ago or whatever. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to smoke you in a race or whatever. And then we went out. I smoked his ass. I was like, yeah, stop, dog. Yeah, he didn't think I would, but now I took it to him. But anyway, well, yo, man, I guess we'll get ready to wrap up here. Hopefully, I mean, as a
any prop bets for tonight?
You know what? Do you have your phone? My son's got my phone. Do you have any on your phone? I didn't really get a chance to look. I mean, you know what? I'll tell you which one I like. Whatever Klay Thompson's over is, I think Klay Thompson steps up big tonight. So if his over-under's like 17 or 18, I think Klay goes for at least 25, 26. I would go Klay Thompson over.
I don't know what the odds are because I didn't look, but the last game I took Klay 3+ threes. I took Wiggins 15+ points, and I took Draymond 4+ assists. I think it was like plus 230. I'm gonna do the same thing again tonight.
I could see that. I could see that. Like I said, I love Klay Thompson's over whatever that is. That's what I like. Mike Lord, getting back to our run. Hammies will be hurting. So, but
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, we're going to get ready to wrap up. Make sure you check out all the shows on Devereaux Sports. Make sure you check out the Union show tomorrow night at 9 p.m. with Gus and Austin. Check out all the shows on the Out of Box Network, in particular the Paul Spencer 215 Boys, the Fight Club with Joey Wood. Make sure you check out Mike Lauros on Thursday nights. And we'll be back next Monday. And go Phillies and go. I got to say go Warriors because I'm not rooting for the Celtics.
Go Warriors, go Phillies, baby.
Let's go.